Are we all recovered from the last episode yet? I'm still not entirely sure my heart rate has gone back to normal. If you're one of the people who just checks in every now and again to watch the transfer updates and for the really big episodes, and for whatever reason you missed the last one, you got to go back and watch it before you go any further. No spoilers. Go back and watch that, then come back here. You will not be disappointed. Hello and welcome to Club 6, part 38 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our summer transfer window season review thing after our glorious back-to-back La Liga triumph. This is the summer where we try and put together our team that is going to be able to go that couple of steps further to win the Champions League for us next season. That's got to be the goal. But before we get into building a new team, we have to review the team that we've already got, starting off with the Player of the Year awards. So we've got Jason Gould is the second best player in La Liga, Leonardo Silva third. That's a bit of a surprise that Leonardo Silva, a bit of an unsung hero, only played 3 times for Portugal. It's not like he's one of the world's elite defenders. This is his first full season as a first team player. Looking back at his Sporting Lisbon career, at the age of 29, he's a first team player in a major league for the first time. Still not a regular international, but the third best player in La Liga. Jason Gould, not worth 70 million quid. What a rip-off, Kev. Yeah, look at the state of that career. That man's going to be a hero. Goalkeeper of the year wise, Zielinski gets runner-up for that. He's also runner-up for World Goalkeeper of the Year. So there's clearly a fairly decent goalkeeper knocking about at Real Madrid as well. Of course, Kev, now age 51, wins La Liga Manager of the Year. How many Manager of the Year awards have I got now? We must be accumulating a few of them at this point. Where? Does this tell me what the awards are? I mean, that's a pretty decent look. I know it took a long time to get competition wins, but so we had a Manager of the Year. Does that tell me the manager? No. We've won it plenty of times now. We've now also been at Sevilla longer than we've been at anywhere else, I think. I think we've now been here longer than we were at Fulham. So it really, I think either way, I know I said this partway through last season and then we ended up having super fun time. I think this will be our final season at Sevilla, this upcoming one. We will either win the Champions League or we'll move on and take that one final step towards a proper elite club, because surely now I'm a 4-star reputation manager, we've got to be in the running. I mean, there are no elite jobs available. I'm talking like European multiple-time Champions League winning clubs is what I'm looking at. And this is the La Liga Team of the Year. 9 Sevilla players in the La Liga Team of the Year. I mean, based on that, if Real Madrid had won the league, it would have been a travesty. But the La Liga Team of the Year, Zielinski in goal, Ryback, Anand, Silva and Gravosti as the back four, Garcia, O'Neill and Gould. I'm really surprised to see Paul O'Neill in there. He wasn't even a regular starter. He only started 16 games in the league, but clearly played rather well in the 16 that he played. Gould, not worth 70 million quid. And then Korkmaz as the striker in that system. Ramos and Ats, our other 2 central midfielders, both on the bench for the Team of the Year. So O'Neill gets in ahead of Ramos and Ats. I don't understand that at all, but that is quite an impressive showing. And of course, a whole bunch of bonuses paid as a result of that. Let's pretend we're not going to look at the financial situation. Well, I think we've got some prize money due. I hope I don't bankrupt Sevilla with all my never transfers. I'm obviously going to do some more of them this summer as well, but we will zoom forward in time a little bit to do the club season review. And then I don't expect a huge number of transfers this summer. I don't really plan to sell anybody unless we get huge. I mean, maybe Amador would be one it would make sense to let go. But other than him, and I don't know, maybe one of the 2 centre-backs. If we bring in a couple of very good young centre-backs, we might move one of these on just to cash in. Maybe Anand, because I think we could probably get a lot of money for him. If we could get 70, 80 million pounds for Anand, or if Juventus come back in and offer 60 or 70 million for Gravosti again, we might move on some of the older defenders to bring in some younger equivalents. But other than that, unless a player forces through a move, like Gould forces through a move to Juventus, or Moreno forces through a move to Liverpool, I don't really plan on selling anybody. I want to bring in at least one good centre-back. I want to bring in a new right-back. And other than that, I think the squad is pretty set. So there's not going to be a huge number of transfers. But we'll do the season review first, and then I'll probably come back and spend £300 million, because you know how these videos work by now. And we're through to the squad season review situation thing. During the time that's been passed, I've been pondering other transfers as well. I think I might move Markovic on, and I think that was part of my plan last summer, if I remember. If we just have a look at the goalkeeper situation at the club. Obviously, Zielinski is going to be our first choice keeper forevermore. Then we've got Markovic, who's Germany's second choice keeper. But we signed Christian Gomez last summer, who has spent the year out on loan at Getafe playing a full season for a team that finished 5th in La Liga. I think he can probably come back and sit on our bench. And I don't think we need to keep Markovic around as a third choice keeper, especially age 29. He's actually never played for Germany, but he does always get called up for their squad still. So I think we're probably going to move Markovic on. If we can get £10-15 million for Markovic, and then we've got promising youngsters. Suarez will probably leave as well. But we've got this guy, Jose Pedro. I know he's only 16, but he's going to be awesome. He can be our third choice keeper. Where's the harm in that? So that's another potential bit of dead wood clearing that we can do. But again, we're not doing transfers yet. We're still on season review. So this is our all-time best 11. As you can see, Ryback has made it into the all-time best 11, as has Gravosti. Is there any more? Garcia's still in there. I find it baffling, some of the players who haven't made it in. We don't need to look at the all-time best 11 anymore, but this is the important one. This is our best 11. Amador's made it into team of the season and then got loaned out to Brentford. Wow, that just shows that we probably should have been playing the 4-3-3 all along. We've got 3 attacking midfielders, none of which are any good, apparently. But player of the season was Gould, 45% of the vote. Leonardo Silva second, Ryback third. Atz got goal of the season before he became public enemy number 1. I might sell him this summer, even though he's one of the best midfielders in the world. He's a big old bottle job. Let's have a look at this goal, though. See if this convinces me to keep him. Ryback running forward, plays it to Atz. Atz is a long way out. Surely not going to shoot. Of course he's going to shoot. What a goal. We can't sell that, man. Leonardo Silva got signing of the season. Jason Gould still able to get young player of the year despite being a first team regular for us for 5 years now. Shows how good he is. Not worth 70 million quid though. Korkmaz top scorer, 21 goals. Gould highest average rating and most assists. Moreno best pass completion, and Korkmaz with most man of the match awards. We don't need to look at the team of 2022. Dynamics wise, Atz, Korkmaz and Gould are our team leaders. End of season team meeting. Well, we've got to be coming back planning to win the league again. Yeah, we're going to retain it again. 3 in a row. That would be wonderful stuff. Season review, all went well. Pre-season start date. I didn't look at the team of the year. Hold on, we looked at Amador. Who else was in it? Zielinski in goal. Ryback, Annan, Silva and Gravosti. Ramos and Atz. Garcia, Amador, Gould, Korkmaz. I think we might be going back to the 4-3-3. We've got Amador. We've obviously got Lorenzo, who's come through our own youth team. How do we look at attacking midfielders? And we've also got Benko, who we brought in last summer for a lot of money, with a lot of expectation on him, and he's just spent the season largely injured. He's still only 22, still has potential to improve, but only played 16 games, only started 6 matches for us. For 44 million quid, he's been a bit of a flop. So I think we probably, if we put defensive midfielders on there as well, star rating wise, Moreno is better than any of our attacking midfielders. Slightly better than Lorenzo, Benko. There's Amador. Lorenzo still has absolutely bags of potential, but doesn't seem to be fulfilling it. 21 years old, loads and loads and loads of potential, but he's now played 3 seasons of top-level football. 1 for Bournemouth, 2 for us. And again, we just don't seem to be getting performances out of these attacking midfielders. Maybe we go back to the 4-3-3, because if we focus in on defensive midfielders, it's not like we have to go and buy a load of them as backup for Moreno. We've got Moreno. Everyone else can also play there. But then we've got Soto, who we looked at last year, who's ready for a first-team squad spot. At age 18, he's come for our own youth system, but he's not the only one. Molina, came through the youth team a few years back. He's 19 now. He's another one with a lot of potential as a defensive midfield player. We've got Ramirez, who came through a few years before that. Yes, he's now 22, still has decent potential. He's another one. I mean, look, he's been playing in the Liga regularly for 3 years. He could come in as a backup defensive midfielder for us. So maybe we go back to that. Who knows? Pre-season, so who knows? I'm the manager. I should probably know. I haven't got a clue. I'll just keep the players here to do both, and we'll figure it out as we go. But there's no harm in having a nice big squad at this stage, unless it comes down to needing to bring in defenders and not having the money to do it. But as it stands right now, the positions I want to strengthen, there aren't really good enough options. So if things stay as they are, we might not be doing much business this summer. So if we look at defenders, I mean, he's 20, but he's going to be so expensive. If we have a look at him, he's, okay, he would be better than everything we've got at the moment, but look how much money we're going to have to spend on him. He's going to be a club record transfer. We can't afford him. But he is exactly the kind of player that I would want. Beyond him, though, there's no one else who'd be good enough to get in our team. This is the second best one. And he'd come in as fifth choice. He's not as good as Bamba. So Quito suddenly becomes someone I'm quite keen on if we can get him for a reasonable price. Right back-wise, nobody, again. And the other position I'd potentially strengthen is left wing. And there's not really anyone tempting there either. Should we put in an offer for Quito? Just to see. I mean, this seems insane. But he is very good. And he's young. Is he tall? He's only 6 feet tall. A short centre-back. Right, let's put in... He's a non-EU player, so Presedo would have to move on again. And also it means Gomez as backup keeper becomes a bit of a problem. That's something to take into account. But let's offer £60 million on the Never Never. Right, okay, we can make this guy affordable. It just feels a little bit early in the summer to be doing it. So what I'm going to do is scout him some more. Now I know that we could potentially find a way to afford him. We just need to make sure no one else swoops in and buys him while we try and find a better one. But he's a potential one on the shopping list. First and possibly only signing made. Goran Srdic is a 23-year-old Swiss right-back, 41 caps for Switzerland already, 4.5-star current ability, potential to still get just a smidgen better. We have a world-class right-back who's only 23 years old. He has cost us £66 million. So we're pretty much spent up. In fact, I say we're pretty much spent up. We are completely spent up. We have no money left at all. And if we are to bring in any more players, then it's going to have to be at the expense of selling some. I can't identify a centre-back I really want. So at the moment, I'm looking at Bamba thinking, well, he's still only 19, huge potential. He's going to get better and better. Annan and Silva are 28 and 29. They can do another season if they have to. We're sorted at right back. Gravosti might move on if we can sell Gravosti. He's age 30 now. If we get another 50, 60 million pound offer from Juventus for him, then my thoughts are probably reinvest that money in a new centre-back, because we've got Gion, who's an 18-year-old right-back we brought in last summer, or the summer before even now, and he can be back up to Srdic just like he was back up for Gravosti, so that's potentially a way to bring in a centre-back. At left-back, I'm very happy with Ryback. Bruce can be a perfectly good backup like he was this season. In goal, obviously Zielinski's the top keeper. Then we've got Markovic and Gomez. We probably don't need both of them, but I'll wait and see if we get offers for either of them. I mentioned Gomez being a foreign player could be an issue, but actually he's only got 31 days left before he can get his Spanish nationality. So in actual fact, before the season starts, he should be in a position to be registered in the squad as a Spanish player. So we don't need to worry about that. In midfield, we've got Atz, Ramos, O'Neill, Presedo, who's similar situation. His Spanish nationality, only 3 days away from being able to sort that. So he's another one who can take on his Spanish nationality. He can be our fourth choice central midfielder. Defensive midfield is a thing, because we have got players who can play there. We've obviously also got Lorenzo, Amador, Benko who can play here. I think we're probably sorted for midfield. Up front, we've obviously got Korkmaz, Perez, Abraham. We're absolutely fine. Garcia and Ruiz and Abraham all on the left wing. Gould, Montero, Hannes on the right-hand side. Lorenzo can play out there. I think we're all good in midfield and attacking positions. We just need one or two defenders. In fact, we don't even need them. They'd just be nice to haves. But if that ends up being the only business we do all summer, bringing in a world-class right-back, then I can live with that. I can call that a good summer. The quietest summer in the history of the world. That's last summer. But a good summer all the same. Now we wait and see if any offers come in. I'm not going to offer any of my players out, even the ones I've talked about not being bothered if we lose, Gravosti, Amador, Markovic. I'm not going to offer any of them out. If good offers come in, they're likely to be good money offers that are going to be a lot more than if we offer them out. If we offer Gravosti out now, we'll maybe sell him for 30 million. But if we wait for Juventus to come back again, they might offer 60 million again, which they're not going to do if we offer him out. So we're not desperate to sell, but if the right offers come in for the right players, we'll move them on and do some more shuffling around and a bit more transfer shenanigans. Let's just double check what the situation is for centre-backs these days, not left-wing backs, centre-backs. Quito is still the one, and he's still very expensive. Just in case there's any doubt that Zielinski's the best keeper in the world, he's just won best goalkeeper at the World Cup and got into the World Cup dream team, the only one of our players to do so. Holders of the World Cup, by the way, are Spain, a Spain team that includes Eusebio Garcia, now a World Cup winner, who we've just turned down a 50-ish million pound offer from Manchester City for. So he actually could be someone who's moving on this summer. His release clause isn't much bigger than the offer that they made. So Garcia may be leaving. Moreno, very sadly, not in the Spain squad. Alvaro, is that our Alvaro? Our old Alvaro, yeah, so he's got a World Cup winner's medal. Abraham didn't make it into the squad, though, obviously, because he doesn't play very often. So our one World Cup winner is Eusebio Garcia, which I think, that'll do, isn't it? World Cup win, back-to-back La Liga. He's probably a happy boy. We're still hoping to sell some players, or else there's not going to be any more transfer business. That's why I'm telling you about the World Cup, because nothing else is going to happen while we've got all that red down in the bottom corner. Amador has gone to Juventus for a ridiculous £30 million. It just seems like an exceptional piece of business, really. Bring him in for £8 million. He played 15 games that season, 16 the following season, and was loaned out for the second half of the season because he couldn't get in the team. And we've sold him on for £30 million. We do have to give another £4 million to Barcelona. And we didn't get much going to our transfer kitty because obviously we've got no money. But at least we've got rid of all the red. We're now back within our wage budgets. We've got a little bit of transfer budget again. And we're also going to send Ramirez out on loan. That's going to save us another £11 million. And in actual fact, there are a few players who've moved out on loan. These are all players who are not a million miles from the first team either. Sebastian, 19 years old, lots of potential. He's gone out for another season in Segunda Liga, is that what it's called? Hannes has gone to Lugo to go and play a season for them down in. I mean, he's probably done. The fact that he came in, that when we signed him, he was the potential replacement for Gould. Started out being loaned out to La Liga teams, then went to Villa and didn't really play much in the Premier League. Has now dropped down a league in Spain. That's not a good career trajectory for Hannes. So I think he's probably about done. Martinez is an up-and-coming right-back who's probably our fourth choice right-back. I guess we've still got Gravosti behind the big two, and Gion, so he can go out and play for Girona for a year. And, of course, the Amador deal it's just good business. We're not going to be able to bring in another the centre-back that we want for £8 million, presumably. But we could potentially bring in a younger one like Nenad Olic, who has the potential to be awesome. So let's get him scouted. There might be more transfers yet. Just praise Soto as well. It looks like we have another player who's going to be leaving. One of our youngsters, Peter Ondrejka, what a name. Peter Andre, 20-year-old wonder kid. I didn't realise he'd been upgraded to wonder kid. We brought him in a couple of seasons ago for £1.3 million. Spent last season on loan at Fiorentina in Serie A. And we kind of got forced into this. He won't sign a new contract with a bigger release clause. Not even interested. And now both Inter and Barcelona have met his release clause, so he's going to be leaving, which is a shame because he's somebody who could have been pushing for a first team spot this season. Presado, he's as good as Presado with potential to be even better. So he would have been in and around our first team. As it is, I hope he goes to Inter and not Barcelona. You can go out on loan, whoever you are. And I guess the one good thing is it'll bring us a little bit more money in. Can we manage to increase percentage thing? No. Yeah, I mean we've got no money, and the projection is hideous. So I can understand why they're not going to give me more money to reinvest. But of course, if we're losing one youngster, we have to bring a new youngster in. So Nenad Olic, the 17-year-old Croatian centre-back, has arrived. 1.5-star current ability, so not good enough to be in and around the squad yet, but lots of potential to go on and get better. 6'3" as well, a little bit taller. So we've got a 17-year-old centre-back who is in, and apparently Barcelona now want our scouts as well. It's not enough that they're stealing our young players, they also want the scouts who found us those young players. It feels like Barcelona have a plan. Well, stupid release clauses have come back and bitten us again. Andrejka has gone to Barcelona, where hopefully he'll just sit in the reserves. There you go, they've put him straight in the under-19s. So it's not that they're ready to push him into the first team anytime soon. And I guess it does give us a little bit more spensies. We'll just have to pretend he never existed. Brentford cannot have Bamba. I don't know who Rubio is. Do I care about him? No. So what's his release clause? 325,000. Just meet the release clause and you can have him. That's the way it works. If Villarreal, if you're not willing to pay this man's release clause, you don't really want him. You don't want him then. So stop pestering me. Go. Right. 12 million quid now. Have we got a defender that we can pick up for 12 million quid? No. Still no transfer news. I think I'm just about accepting that we're done for the summer. We've got £12 million to spend. We've got a little bit of spare wage budget, but we're not going to bring in the kind of player we want to bring in for that kind of money. So this is what the summer is looking like at the moment. A first choice right back and a youngster at centre back and a bunch of fringe players on their way out. We've actually not had a huge net spend this summer, but we've still got a couple of weeks of window left. There's still another week of transfer potential in this episode, but first we've got to play in this stupid Super Cup thing, so we're going to go and play in that with this team. We're going with the 4-2-3-1 because we did the 4-3-3 in the cup final and it didn't work, so let's try beating Barcelona this way round. It obviously looks like a very familiar team. The only new player is Serdic, but that is pretty much our new first choice team, at least when we're playing this tactical variant. Obviously the other option is bring Moreno in for Lorenzo, and other than that it doesn't really change. So I'm going to play that game with the camera off, just so this episode isn't 1,000 years long, and then show you the result. I suspect we won't win this competition 8-0 like we did last year. I think Barcelona are probably tougher opposition. Here you go. You can join me at the end of the penalty shootout. It was 1-1. Ramos scored for us, then we conceded in the second half. We dominated them, but just not as prolific as them in front of goal. And it looks like we're going to lose the shootout because Jesus Perez missed our first penalty. It was Henrique who scored for them, the one that got away, who's been playing for them on the wing, but he moved up front as the game went on, and he's just made up for it by missing his penalty. So now we have the opportunity to draw level through Silva. Can he tuck it away? Of course he can. There you go. This penalty shootout could go on for weeks yet. We want our first piece of silverware of the new season. Come on, Zielinski, make a beautiful save. He doesn't make a beautiful save. I don't know who's taking our last penalty. I'm sure we're about to find out. Any time now. Take. It is Ramos. So Ramos scored our goal from open play. Can he score a goal? It's all it's going to do is take it to sudden death. The way this is taking so long suggests he's going to miss. The game's trying to build tension, but he does score, and we're now into sudden death penalties. And I wish I hadn't have brought you back quite so soon, because we've all seen these FM19 penalty shootouts that go on for like 40 penalties. We could be here for hours yet. Who's going to take our next one? it's so slow on the changeover again. When it switches over to the Barcelona players, it's super quick, but when it switches to us, it takes forever. Lorenzo coming on to take his penalty then. He played the last hour or so of the game on the right wing. Benko came on to play as the attacking midfielder, so it's good to get some game time into Benko. But he scores his penalty, and now can Zielinski make himself a hero again? The best goalkeeper at the World Cup. And he doesn't save the penalty. And now we go on to this is our 7th penalty now. And I'm running out of options to take it. There you go, Ruiz, who came on for Garcia on I think it was on like the 70th minute mark. Came on, missed a big opportunity towards the end of the game as well to win the game in about the 88th minute, and also misses his penalty. So Barcelona win the only trophy they're going to win this season. That's for sure, because we ain't having them force their way past us as being any good again. So that's that. Now we have one more week of trying to bring in some players before the season starts. We're probably not going to. And I imagine the next time you see me, I'll be telling you all to come back tomorrow for the first game of the new season. And as suspected, no further transfer business. So that brings us through to the end of the most uneventful transfer window in the history of non-league to legend. But importantly, we've strengthened the squad. We've also started training a third tactic. So obviously we have our 4-3-3, we have the 4-2-3-1. We are now officially training a 4-2-4 as well. So if we decide we want to use this as a more regular thing, because I think probably looking at the team report, the weakness in the squad, in addition to depth at centre-back, the real weakness is attacking midfield and defensive midfield. We've only got 3-star players there. Moreno, our best defensive midfielder, is 3-star. Lorenzo, our best attacking midfielder, is 3-star. So you could argue we've got 2 incredibly good central midfielders, plus another one who's classed as a world-class in O'Neill. Ats and Ramos could look after the midfield by themselves, and having Perez up front with Korkmaz has already proven in some big games, notably the Real Madrid one, to be quite effective. So that might be something we'll use as the season goes on, but we won't be using it in the first day. On the first day, we'll be using that, and you'll be able to see that at 4 o'clock tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.